Style attorney here. I like to talk about style, trials, and public speaking. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about public speaking. Specifically, what I want to discuss is one of the best speeches ever for an athlete, and really just an amazing speech. And that's the speech in 2014 when Kevin Durant won the MVP. That speech has been so good that it's been made a meme. Whenever someone does something great, what do you say? You the real MVP. And I want to analyze why that speech is so good. So let's start off by taking a look at it.
I come from a small county outside of Washington, D.C. called PG County. And me, my mom, my brother, we moved so many different places growing up. And it felt like a box. It felt like there was no getting out. My dream was to become a rec league coach. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay home and help the kids out and be a coach. I love basketball so much. I love playing it. I just never thought that I could make it to college, NBA, or stand up here today in front of you guys and be an NBA MVP. It's just a surreal feeling. And I had so much help. So
what we just looked at was the introduction of the speech, and I want to talk specifically about the technique that Kevin Durant uses. So he thanks God and he recognizes that basketball is a platform, and immediately he goes into the history. Storytelling is amazing. It's great. It's been used for thousands of years, generation cultures, everywhere. People like storytelling. But one thing that's even better than telling a story is telling a history. Right? A story that's a journey. We like the hero's journeys in movies where someone came from somewhere and then they've advanced. So he starts from talking about where he came from. And then he pauses and he mentions his teammates. He talks about all of his teammates. We can have a few clips of that.
Perk, from the minute you got here, I hated you before you got here. But the moment you got here, man, you just changed my whole perception of you. Just one of the best teammates I ever had, man. I thank you so much. The late night calls after tough games, you texting me, telling me I'm an MVP. Nick, you know, the first guy I met when I first got to Seattle as an 18-year-old, you took me in. You believed in me from the beginning. You knew that I had potential. And every single day, I know I could look at you and know that you respect me as a man, as a player, and you're going to ride with me to the end. So thank you.
Okay, so once he's gone through all the teammates, he returns to where he came from. So he started from where he came from. He talks about his teammates. And even when he's talking about his teammates, he uses the same technique. He doesn't just talk about his teammates, who they are presently. He talks about the first time he met each individual. He talks about meeting them, being traded to the team, being drafted. He goes through the history, and then he goes to where they've come with him. At the end of his speech, he concludes by talking about his mother. Let's have a look.
And last, my mom. I don't think you know what you did. You had my brother when you were 18 years old. 3 years later, I came out. We were stacked. The odds were stacked against us. Single parent with 2 boys by the time you were 21 years old. Everybody told us we weren't supposed to be here. We moved from apartment to apartment by ourselves. One of the best memories I had is when we moved into our first apartment. No bed, no furniture, and we just all sat in the living room and just hugged each other. Because that's what we thought we made it. And when something good happens to you, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to look back to what brought me here. And You wake me up in the middle of the night in the summer times, making me run up a hill, making me do push-ups, screaming at me from the sideline of my games at 8 or 9 years old. We wasn't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
In talking about his mom, he says, at last, my mom, right? He's a black man raised by a single mother. Men love their moms. Black men particularly pay a ton of homage to their mom. Of course, Kevin Durant's going to do that. And we've been waiting for this moment. Because anytime someone wins an Oscar, wins a Grammy, and what do they say? I want to thank God. I want to thank my mom. So we know he's going to thank his mom. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And finally, he thanks his mom. And then he tells another story. So he starts off with a story of where he's come from. And then he tells stories about all the people that have helped him there. And then he goes back to his mom, who's the matriarch, the foundation, and he tells a story about her, right? And he talks about all the things that she sacrificed, how she's pushed him, how she woke him up, how she never went hungry. I mean, how he never went hungry, but she went hungry. And he builds it up and he builds it up and he builds it up using a technique of building tension, right? We're waiting, and we're just hearing more and more and more. And then finally he closes it off by saying, "You're the real MVP." Everyone applauds. People start crying. They stand up, give him a standing ovation, and then he becomes a meme. So let me know if you think there are better MVPs at giving speeches than Kevin Durant. If I've missed any athlete speeches, let me know. And like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening.